In the year 1271, a young Venetian merchant named Marco Polo embarked on a journey that would forever alter the course of history. With the ambition of a dreamer and the courage of a pioneer, Polo set sail to a land that to most of Europe was nothing more than a distant myth, China. What followed was an epic tale of adventure, mystery, and discovery that would capture the imagination of generations to come. But was Marco Polo's story real, or was it merely the creation of a world-weary traveler yearning for fame? In this documentary, we will explore the incredible life of Marco Polo, examine his extraordinary journey, and discover the truth behind the man who explored the unknown. Marco Polo was born in 1254 in Venice, Italy, a vibrant maritime city thriving as a center of trade and culture. His family was wealthy, and his father, Niccolò Polo, and uncle Maffeo Polo, were successful merchants who frequently traveled to the east. At a young age, Marco was introduced to the world of adventure, but it was not until 1271, at the age of 17, that he would join his father and uncle on their legendary journey to the east. Venice, at the time, was the gateway between Europe and Asia, and Marco's exposure to this world would ignite a passion for exploration that would lead him to places few had ever dared to dream of. The Polo's journey began in earnest when they left Venice in 1271, setting sail across the Mediterranean Sea. At this time, Europe was largely unfamiliar with the vast lands of Asia, and the concept of travel beyond the Middle East seemed almost impossible. The Polo's destination was the court of the Mongol Empire, led by the legendary Kublai Khan, the grandson of Genghis Khan. Along the way, the family would face countless dangers, storms, pirates, and treacherous lands, but nothing would deter them from their goal. The journey from Venice to Persia, and eventually to China, took over 3 years. With each new step, Marco Polo was not just discovering new lands, he was witnessing firsthand a world vastly different from the one he had known. When Marco Polo and his family finally arrived at the court of Kublai Khan in 1275, the vast Mongol Empire greeted them with open arms. The Khan, a visionary leader, ruled over one of the largest empires the world had ever known, stretching from the steppes of Central Asia to the heart of China. Polo quickly impressed Kublai with his intelligence, curiosity, and ability to communicate in several languages. He became a trusted confidant of the Khan and was soon given a position as an envoy, tasked with traveling across the empire to carry out important assignments. This newfound role allowed Polo to explore areas of China, Mongolia, and Southeast Asia, places few Europeans had ever seen. For 17 years, Marco Polo lived in the heart of the Mongol Empire, deeply immersed in the culture and day-to-day life of the Yuan dynasty. Polo's experiences in China were extraordinary. He marveled at the grandeur of the imperial court, witnessed the sophistication of Chinese society, and marveled at the technological advances of the time, such as the use of paper money and the vast network of roads. He also observed the flourishing of Chinese commerce, which was well ahead of anything he had encountered in Europe. Polo's writings describe the great city of Xanadu, the bustling markets, the advances in agriculture, and the lavish palaces, all of which seemed like a fantastical dream to the Western world. His vivid accounts would forever change Europe's understanding of Asia. One of Marco Polo's most significant roles in the Mongol Empire was his work as a trader. The Silk Road, a network of ancient trade routes connecting China to Europe, was crucial for the flow of goods, ideas, and culture. Polo's family had been traders, and Marco, in turn, became a valuable asset to the Mongol Empire. His missions took him far and wide, from the bustling cities of China to the deserts of Central Asia. Polo's writings were filled with stories of rare and exotic goods, such as silk, spices, and precious stones. He also observed the trade of tea, porcelain, and gunpowder, items that would later revolutionize European commerce and culture. His travels allowed him to witness the immense cultural exchange facilitated by the Silk Road. In his writings, Polo detailed the marvels he encountered in the East, many of which were unknown to Europeans at the time. One of the most famous of these accounts was Polo's description of the Great Wall of China, which he described as a massive fortification stretching across the landscape, protecting the empire from invaders. He also wrote about the Great Canal, a vast system of waterways that connected China's major cities, enabling the movement of people and goods. Polo's observations of the culture, technology, and architecture of China painted a picture of a sophisticated civilization that was centuries ahead of Europe in many respects. His accounts, though sometimes exaggerated, opened the eyes of Europeans to the grandeur of the East. After nearly 2 decades in the service of Kublai Khan, Marco Polo, his father, and his uncle decided to return to Venice in 1292. The journey back was long and arduous, but they managed to make it home safely. By this time, Marco Polo had seen the world in ways that few others had. However, upon their return, the Polo family found Venice embroiled in conflict. Marco, now a wealthy and well-traveled man, struggled to reintegrate into Venetian society. But little did he know that his most significant journey was yet to come, the recounting of his travels to the world. Upon his return, Marco Polo was imprisoned during a Venetian war with Genoa. It was in prison that Polo met Rustichello de Pisa, a fellow prisoner and writer, who helped him transcribe his adventures. The resulting work, The Travels of Marco Polo, became a sensation. The book was translated into multiple languages and quickly became a bestseller, introducing the Western world to the wonders of Asia. Polo's descriptions of the vast wealth, the magnificence of the Mongol Empire, and the exotic cultures he encountered captivated the European imagination. But not everyone believed his stories. Some skeptics wondered if Polo had exaggerated his experiences, or if some of his tales were entirely fabricated. Despite the controversies, the book remained one of the most influential travelogues in history. Marco Polo's legacy as a traveler and explorer cannot be overstated. While there were doubts about the accuracy of his accounts, it is clear that his observations laid the groundwork for the European age of exploration. His book inspired countless explorers, including Christopher Columbus, who was deeply influenced by Polo's descriptions of Asia and its wealth. Polo's name became synonymous with adventure, and his travels opened the door for future exploration. His influence can be seen in the voyages of explorers like Vasco da Gama and Ferdinand Magellan, who followed in his footsteps to the east. So, who was the real Marco Polo? Was he a hero, a liar, or simply an ambitious man caught in the winds of history? The truth likely lies somewhere in between. While some of Polo's tales may have been embellished, his journey to China and the wealth of knowledge he brought back to Europe cannot be denied. Marco Polo was not just a traveler, he was a bridge between two vastly different worlds. His explorations and writings helped shape the course of history, sparking the age of exploration and changing the way the West viewed the East forever. In the end, Marco Polo's legacy as one of the greatest explorers of all time remains as fascinating and mysterious as the world he sought to uncover. Marco Polo's journey to the East is one of the most captivating and enduring stories in the annals of exploration. He ventured into the unknown, faced countless hardships, and returned with tales that would spark the imaginations of people for centuries. Whether everything he described was true or not is still up for debate, but one thing is certain: Marco Polo's spirit of adventure, his curiosity, and his courage to explore the unknown continue to inspire explorers and dreamers around the world. The world that Marco Polo discovered was not just foreign, it was a world that forever changed the way we think about the boundaries of our own understanding.